do some physical exercise to deal with whatever issues there are, that they're not, and his Asian mother was talking to us about different ways that this can happen in her home. And she said, in this particular setting, her mom would come home from work and take out a lot of her anger on her, and so her and her sister. So she talked about her kids. So what happened with her kids, when her kids would get in some type of problem or altercation, she wouldn't do anything. Because she always remembered how her mother treated her. So she allowed her husband to do some of the discipline. So a lot of that behavior transitions into how parents even discipline their own children. So some of the generational things, the yelling, the screaming, and things like that, have to be very careful in your setting that you don't duplicate those kind of behaviors. Because you can easily get caught up into some things that may seem to be well done, but in actuality, it's more of a problem. It's more of a negative than a positive. But it may appear to seem like it works, but it really doesn't. It's really a form of that abusive behavior. So you have to be very careful that you don't begin to do generational stuff all over again. The slide here deals with more guidance and counseling. The objective of discipline should be for authoritative figures to use methods that are not abusive in nature, but modify the negative behavior. Again, modify is going to make some changes. You know, one of the things that we used to do at the, you're going to hear me refer back to my years with Boys and Girls Club. I spent about 13 years and managed four clubs in Seminole County. So I had to have over a period of time, there had to be over 500 kids that we provided services for. Because we had about 100 kids in each 100 or more kids in each of the 4 clubs. But one of the things that we did with kids, we put 2 fingers up in the air. And a lot of times people say, oh, what you doing with the 2 fingers? Well, with the 2 fingers, what it represented is that it meant for them to be quiet. So we practiced that with kids. And so when kids would come in the program in the afternoon, we'll put 2 fingers up. And we'll make sure that they're quiet when announcements is going on. Well, we took that thing not only in the after-school program, we put that in assemblies when we went out to various schools, the middle schools, and even the high schools and the elementary schools. And we practiced kids, and then we'll throw the fingers up, and then the kids would get quiet. So we were going to modify their behavior. What began to happen, not only we were doing that, the kids, one child would look at another child and say, hey, don't you see Mr. Miller's fingers up? Don't you see Miss Lincoln's fingers up? And so all the kids would begin to now take on that culture and try to make sure that kids understood what quiet meant and what it meant to follow the rules, to be disciplined in the club. So we did that. So that was one of the ways that we were able to modify some of the behavior. Next, I'm going to talk about some methods that can be implemented at home, school, or in a community organization. Talking to people in a conversational tone. It's very important that you don't allow yourself to get worked up with to the point where you're screaming and raising your voice, because they're young. So while you're screaming and raising your voice, they're pretty much just looking at you. They have the energy to absorb your screams and all that, but do you have the energy to keep doing that? Screaming not only raises your voice, screaming not only raises your blood pressure, but also causing emotional stress. You're screaming and hollering at them, a lot of times they're not reacting the way you want them to react because they're now stressed out. You know, it's almost like you're telling someone to run, you're telling them to run, you're telling them to run. And a lot of times that's not a good thing because they're saying they're nervous. And so they become very nervous because you're nervous. You know, there's research that shows that when mothers are carrying babies, that the way that they handle stress is the way the child is going to handle stress. Even talking, even the tough talk that a parent has carrying that child is transferred to the child. So just like when a kid comes in after school setting, if you're screaming and yelling at them, you're stressing them out. So be careful about your tone when you're talking to them. Ask open questions of your child or children about their responsibility and all this, and it's never assume he or she or guilty or innocent. So you have to be open when you're dealing with an issue in your after-school setting. Ask open questions, about such as, well, how did this happen? And what happened? And you got to sometimes investigate situations before you assume a certain thing about a child. Or assume that it is wrong, they did something bad. You have to ask probing a little bit. You get the answer. You get the answer that you need in order to deal with the situation more appropriately. Now, one of the things about silence for kids could be a very bad thing. Sometimes kids would be silent as you really don't care about it, or you're really not concerned. Make you angry with them. This slide gives you like a sign about silence, not as a method to ignore the kid, but to become. Sometimes you're going to have to, as an after-school professional, it's quiet for you. Be quiet and allow the young person to deliver their message. It may have some flaws in it, but if you listen long enough, you'll catch the information. But don't allow your emotions to dictate the level of system you provide. Because I think sometimes when we get angry, we just think about consequences. If the child hurt, okay, that's one day. It hurts again, that's another day. It hurts again, that's another day. So we just keep adding on because we're angry. So we have to make sure that when we're silent, we use this as a way to calm ourselves, to get ourselves back in a position to where we are in control. And don't allow the situation to get you out of control, and be able to listen and provide the appropriate discipline for the appropriate time. Tell the children that you are not disciplining their behavior, but not in them. Keep building their self-esteem versus tearing it down. I know in the after-school setting, if there's a particular member of your after-school program that you really have a whole lot of high marks, or they do something disappointing, it's easy to tell the kids that you're disciplining them versus their behavior. The behavior is separate from them. They still got to be built up. So you want to continue to build their personality. This little Dr. Seuss thing said, today you are you, that is truly true. There's no one alive who is yours than you. Meaning that you're special. And even in the midst of doing things that you may not like, you may not approve of, you're still special. It still develops. And again, your whole goal in your after-school setting is to modify the behavior, modify it. And so it's very important that you continue to tell them the things that's going to build their self-esteem versus tearing it down. Because it's so important. They sometimes come there with low self-esteem from the start. Maybe some things that they encountered at home, maybe some things they encountered at school. So it's up to you when they come there after school setting to make sure that they feel comfortable, that they feel like they're a part of something positive. Tolerance. One of the things that's going to be very important in your program is going to be a policy. You can't expect behavior if you don't have a policy to try to modify behavior. And one of the first things that you provide guidance and instruction for the young people. You want to be able to model the behavior just as well as tell them about the behavior. You say this home, but you take the behavior, and you promote the culture of the organization. And that's very important. The culture of your after-school program, it goes far beyond just the after-school. The culture of your after-school program goes not only after school, it goes home with these young people, it goes in their community, it goes also in the school. Help build positive relationships with the young people. One of the major problems in America today is social skills. And a lot of our young people are failing on various levels they don't know how to get along with one another in the after-school setting, they're going to take that same behavior in the classroom. And so, really, the after-school program can provide some positive benefits in the program that can spill over into the student day. So it's very important that social skills are being taught. And they can be taught a lot through the discipline policy. Talk about problems versus progress. The policy is designed to just really address the problem areas of the behavior. The policy is also designed to show progress. So, an example would be Johnny comes in after school, and Johnny is fighting. And Johnny has been fighting all the time. Based on the discipline policy over a period of time, Johnny should not be fighting every day after school. Johnny should be fighting less after school. Johnny should be shaking hands. Johnny should be playing sports with more sportsmanship. The policy should be changing the behavior or modifying the behavior of the young person. So you have data that will support that. Looking at how Johnny was when he first came in, and now what is the program doing to impact Johnny to a place to where Johnny now social skills are beginning to develop. I remember back, I'm just telling another good pivot. I remember we had a young man that, and I was just trying to teach basic math. And I remember the young man used to, when I first spoke to the boys and girls, I used to tell them, hey, just don't come to my office. You have to knock on the door, and then if I'm in conversation, you have to say, excuse me, and things like that. So I remember the young man used to just come to my office, and he was just running, and I said, no, you're going to have to go back out. And there was sometimes he would knock on the door when he was coming in. So after a while, over a period of time, he would knock on the door, and if I'm in a conversation, he would say, excuse me, Mr. Miller, I have this question, I have this thing going on. So what was happening, they began to change that behavior. They began to progress. So discipline policy to help some basic things that a lot of our young people are missing. Sometimes the after-school program becomes the custodial parent. Whether you want to believe that or not, kids going to spend more time in school and in after-school setting than they spend at home. So we have an impact on young people's lives and their social behavior. Let's go with what should be in your policy, some components. Behavior expectations. What do you expect out of the children when they come to your program? What does that look like? And sometimes you have to walk them through that. You know, what does this look like? Because again, you want to not assume from a cultural perspective that they have this information. You don't want to assume that, okay, they know what this looks like. No, you have to actually show them. Behavior contract. Behavior contract actually charts the behavior. It's going to say, okay, if you do this behavior, this is what's going to happen. Type of behavior, what behaviors are you looking for? What behaviors are you going to deal with them on, work with them on? Parent involvement. How are the parents involved? Are the parents involved through conferences? Do you wait something goes happen? Do you say, okay, this is what Johnny did today. We're going to put Johnny out of the program. Or we're going to suspend him for a couple of days. Or we're going to sit it this way. What are the level of infractions, the consequences, length of time, timeout, training, parent orientation, open house, quarter events, things like that. The discipline policy is something that not only the young people should have as a part of the program, but the parents should know it. The actual after-school professionals should know it. Everyone should be tied into that discipline policy. The training needs to go on. Every should be parent orientation in your after-school program. When they sign up, it should be something about discipline policy being done. When parent meetings are being done, it should be done. Open houses, it should be done. But everybody should be familiar with that policy. When should parents be involved? A lot of times in the about. After something has happened, then parents are called. And as I stated earlier, if parents are involved in the beginning stage, when the development of the policy is being done, you have some buy-in. I believe this statement I'm getting ready to make, if you have emotional dollars in the space, you can get people to come along with what you're doing. And what this basically is saying, if you have the parents emotionally involved, they're going to follow suit. They're going to be a part of what you're doing. They're going to buy in. I stated it here in the beginning stages of the discipline policy. That's the first incident. In a conference discussing child behavior, second. In discussion regarding the child suspension from the after-school program, the third. They should be involved every step of the way. I remember my staff used to get mad because a lot of times they just want to kick kids out. And I would say, no, what does the policy say? What does the policy say? Do you have some documentation of the behavior? What if you try to modify this behavior? It's just not, you just put the kid out. You have to have some documentation because the documentation serves two goals. It serves to show where some problems are, and also it shows it's there to show progress. Go back. What is the extension from the program take place? Where should the extension take place? Well, here are a couple of things. I don't know what are some of the issues that you're absolutely studying, but I know violent behavior, consistent bullying, breaking behavior, repeat behavior, theft, all this should be documented. Is what I stated earlier. You'll be reviewed and documented because that's going to give you, again, information of behavior may cause some immediate suspicion on the time frame of depending on the severity and frequency of the behavior. That's what you got to look at, those two words, right? Severity, frequency. How deep it was and how frequent it is. That will help you to guide you in reference to what type of specific time frame you're going to put in place regarding the discipline or the behavior that you need to see. You need to be able to evaluate the policy. You want to see how effective it is. You want to review the policy, legal advisors, and your staff needs. You want parents involved with the parent survey. You can do some focus groups with youth and parents, inform discussions. Be willing to make these to improve the policy. You may have to look at it again. You may have to look at, okay, we getting a lot of bullying going on in our culture. So maybe we need to stop one of these afternoons and just have a discussion about it. And maybe we need to find out what's happening in the community, what's happening in some of these homes. Maybe we want to call some parents in and talk about this. Maybe we want to do some focus group with some of our young people and ask them what's going on. What's socially out there? What's causing a lot of these kids to want to fight or want to not like, with what we're saying? Maybe we need to look at it. Maybe what we have in place may not be exactly what we need to have. Maybe we can make some changes to this policy. Maybe we can make it a little bit more tighter. Maybe we need to loosen up. You have to look at your policy. You just can't write something and leave it there and say, okay, this is it. This will be our document forever and a day. It's never going to change. It's going to be our policy. You have to be able to look at it and make the necessary changes to it. Here are some groups of individuals that can be a part of your policy development. Your parents, community leaders, surgeons, medical professionals, law enforcement, mental health professionals, non-profit entities. One of the reasons why I put some of these other individuals on, because they are stakeholders in your program. They are stakeholders. A lot of clergy may have impact on some of these young people than more of the schools do, because they time with that clergy on the weekend, and that clergy has some emotional dollars in the bank. Remember that. The parents are involved, mental health perspective. You have some students that may have some diagnosis or things that have been documented even at school, that mental health professional would be very helpful to you. And the nonprofit organization would be good. Again, this is not about this talks about the business policy, but this puts you into other things into your program. Some effective discipline techniques, do's and don'ts. I'll put this slide together. This is kind of funny with this devil. Never try to discipline out of the ear bank. Have to be very careful. You have to make sure you are at a great supplement or at a place where you can provide the appropriate stuff. Can't take the kids, can't hear the kids, can't be yelling at a kid or screaming at a kid. I lost it before one time. I did. I'll be honest with you guys on this call. I remember this particular young man, he was a short guy. So the guy told me, he said, Bill, I think I can take it. And so one day we got into this major argument. And we had this festival for the club. And it was about 500 or more people there. And we started arguing. We got face to face. Someone had to pull off the car. I had to come right back and apologize to the young man and to the staff and to the community because at the end of the day, I'm the adult. And so I had to take accountability for that. But that was the form of some abusive generational abuse that had taken place in his life. Never transfer your stress to your children. Again, you're going to stress them out. If you stress them, you're going to stress them out. Think before you speak. In so many words, never call children negative names. If you're angry, you got to take some time to chill. You have to take some deep breathing, wait before you say something, but don't call kids negative names. They remember that. You can't call, hey, fat boy, hey, skinny girl, hey, you call them negative names, and they'll begin to, again, you hurt their feelings. So you have to always make sure you're saying something positive. If you can't say nothing positive, use silence at that time and just not say anything. Let children know and understand your expectations and concerning behaviors and statements. You have to know kids have to know what the expectation is. If you don't provide a culture or a climate for kids will develop their own. If you do not provide a climate and culture for kids, they will develop their own. So you have to set the expectations and the limits. If you do not, they're going to create their own. That's why one thing you need to remember, kids are watching you more than you're watching them. They know when you come in, they know when you stand, they know when you sit, they know when you're going to take a break, they know when you're not going to take a break. They study you it all day long. They know exactly what's going to go on. But you have to set the expectations, not them. Keyword, persistence. Wow, this is a good little slide. Persistence is far better than rare moments of greatness. Sometimes we get caught up on the greatness, but we don't think about consistency. Even when we put in the time it takes to work on changing negative behavior. You cannot listen when it's convenient for you and your schedule. It will not change overnight. The key thing of it is you got to put the time. That two-finger thing that we did with those kids took time. A lot of staff wanted to get away from it, but I kept reinforcing we're going to stay with it. We're going to stay with it. We're going to stay with it. And they'll get it. Let's get it. Kids are resistant. Kids will learn if you're willing to put the time in to teach them. What should we talk to the kids about? Great place in the Afterschool program is to talk to them about We talk to them about their school day. What happens when they get to school? What goes on in school? A lot of times talking to them about their school day helps you understand how they've been doing in school and the whole help deal with behavior that something after school day. Next thing we talk about is their emotions. How are they feeling today? One of the things I do in therapy, when I do group therapy, the first thing I do is to check in. And that check in is to ask people how they're doing. What is going on in their day? Their emotions. When you find out about their emotions again, say that you finding out what may take place in your program after school. Just deal with their emotions. Don't react in a negative way if they tell you something. Also, children may tell you about some things that may be happening at home that you need to know. They may tell you about some things that you may not want to hear, but it may be necessary for you to hear because, again, after school program is providing that nurturing environment they can learn, where they can cope, an extension from the day of school. And you're trying to help them. Homework. One of the important that you talk to them about their homework. And if you don't know how to complete the homework, make sure you have some information of who to get with, a school personnel individual to help you with the homework. Don't try to do the homework if you don't have a good understanding of it. Get some of it. Positive behavior. Reinforce the rules, the school rules. Reinforce positive behavior. Also model the behavior. Modeling behavior is so important. Support the school. And even support one another. As professionals, after school professionals, please don't get into a debate with each other. If you feel like your partner in the program or your individual that's working with you may be wrong about a thing, go in a closed door and deal with that, but never disagree in front of the child. Agree to disagree in front of that child, but not disagree with the person, because it's important that kids know how to handle disagreements, but it's also important that they see you all working as a united front. So children learn early on how to play against school to get themselves out of trouble. They learn how to play one of you all. Each staff them against each other. Again, kids monitoring you more than you monitoring them. Just talk to them about self-control. The code of conduct. Children, the importance of helping the situation out versus having a physical confrontation. Talk to them about bullying. Instilling the children the importance of not taking advantage of someone. Talk to them about the importance of informing someone. Talk to them about the importance of talking to school personnel, and make sure that you follow up on what's going on. Make sure you do not provide a bullying atmosphere. There needs to be an atmosphere where a child can come and talk to you. Sometimes staff is bullying each other and don't realize that they're bullying, and the child is watching. So be careful. Talk to them about safety, about, never walking home alone, inform the personnel about any strangers approaching them. Talk to the young people about that. Important emergency telephone numbers. Make sure children have those numbers. Make sure you have the numbers. Talk to them about it with the 911, about calling in case of an emergency. Walk them through that kind of stuff because it's going to help them long term. This year, talk about inappropriate touching. We're having a lot of issues happening. I put the stats in here about African American communities, about the teen pregnancy piece. But really, we're having a lot of kids dealing with all kinds of issues. They're dealing with some sexual identity issues, things of all kinds of types. That may not be something you talk about in your program, but make sure kids are not touching each other inappropriately. You have to deal with some of these. These are some of the social issues that you will be dealing with, which just happens to find some of the stuff. Kids get out of hand. Talk to them about violence. You have to, you need to make sure in your program that you set the tone, that kids are not going to be violent, that you have to also hear what they're talking about and make sure you provide a conducive environment for them to not worry about being hurt or harmed by you. Talking about health, we all know that kids we have a lot of diabetes among kids because of their overeating and not doing a lot of physical fitness. So have these kind of dialogue with them. It may be more than just eating. It may be something underneath that they may need to get counseling for. They may need to deal with it. Maybe family stuff. You know, some of these kids may come from a home that may not have a good eating habits and good fitness. So these are some things you can talk to these young people about. And again, open now for some Q&A. These are just some questions that I had for you guys about how could these methods be implemented in your program. And stuff like, do you see a reduction or increase in discipline issues in your after-school program? So we're now open for question and answer period. Anybody have?
I guess I would ask the question, what made you want to participate in this webinar?
Okay, that's for the group?
Yeah, I think it might just facilitate some discussion. Why did you choose to participate in this webinar?
Yeah, why did some of you all decide to participate in this webinar? I guess we get any feedback.
I guess at my program we do have some students that may teach or something, so it's kind of nice to get different ideas of how to discipline or not just use our policies in place, but what are some things we can modify to help make a positive impact for that student.
Okay, good. Do you currently have a discipline policy for your program?
We currently do, yes. I mean, or write up policy if we have any behaviors, but like I mentioned, it would be nice to know different modifications to do, I guess.
Right. Well, one of the things I think is going to be good, even as you look at that policy, is looking at, do you see an increase or reduction in the discipline issues in your program?
Gotcha.
And that's more monitoring, what are the discipline issues that you have? Do you see it on the increase or do you see it on the decrease? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I'm just thinking, I guess I really haven't monitored that as closely as maybe I should have. To see if it's...
That's okay. Probably a lot of you experts on this line have monitored that type.
Yeah.
We got our kids out of control. They're doing this, they're doing that. So a lot of that's great if that happens because it's giving you a chance to look at what may be underneath all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have a discipline committee? Let me ask this question of you guys. Do you have a discipline committee consisting of parents and other individuals?
I don't think so. Not every state's kind of different, but not a solid committee, I guess.
Okay. Are the parents involved in your discipline policy?
Yes.
Or are they just a recipient of it?
I would say they would be involved.
Okay.
I-
Okay. What additional training you think you need to help with your discipline policy development?
Don, I have a question. This is Becky. What kind of training would you suggest for staff? Because a lot of times the people maybe that are on this training session are maybe the administrators, or maybe not the people that are directly working with the kids, but maybe supervising those who are. So what kind of training would you suggest for the staff that work directly with the students?
One of the things I think would be good for staff is more on guidance and supervision. Because I think when you look at discipline, a lot of that also falls under guidance and supervision. How is supervision taking place at an after-school program? Do staff really engage in the program from a standpoint of not just providing you information, but I'm also monitoring you in the process? And I think guidance and supervision help because you get a chance to kind of move around, you get a chance to kind of see what's going on, and you understanding that your way to supervise the kids and provide the guidance will have a lot to do with whether you can deal with some of those discipline policies ahead. Follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because a lot of times we react, sometimes in being proactive. You know, and some of the holes are in our supervision. When we look at some of the different issues that go on sometimes in our after-school setting, you know.
So also I feel like a lot of times what happens is, you know, the kids follow the rules during the school day, and then school is over and they come to the after-school program and they don't feel like they have to follow rules. So, or the chaos ensues. So what is your recommendations or suggestions there?
My recommendation is that you can't make after-school program like school. Now that's a mindset that I may have a lot of it, I know I have educators on it. You cannot make the after-school program like school. So you may need to look at how you have your after-school program developed. As soon as the kids come in, they have to sit down, they have to flip books, they have to read, they have to sit down, they can't move around, you know. All of the after-school programs should be relaxed, it should be fun, it should be fair. You have to have the education component in it, but I think you need to flip it and let it be a relaxed atmosphere because they've been in school all day. So you may have to look at how you have your after-school program set up and look at, do we allow the kids to spend for the first 30, 45 minutes to relax, get a snack, then we get into the workings of the day, the tutorials of the different groups, things of that type, or do we do the opposite? When we allow them to come in, we go right into work. You know, you got to get this homework done, boom, 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 boom. And so they kind of wired up, so they make you a chance to relax. So you make me look at how your program is set up first and foremost. And I think another thing that would be good with this is do an actual forum with your young people. Ask them. Do it play from with them. Do people pass out a piece of paper and you can sit down with them and say, hey, what you like about the program? What you don't like about the program? How would you like our program if you get this, if you get that? It's some question and answer going with them. And they'll be able to kind of see. I'm not saying you stick the program totally to them, but the program is about it. All right. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep. Are there any other questions?
Well, the information helps.
I hear some kids in the background. Maybe somebody should, if you're not going to speak, can you please put your mic on mute? And then Don, if no one has any other questions, maybe you would like to share the resources that you have listed up on the screen?
Yes, the resources that I have here on the side, two things. The first one is a comprehensive path for the summer success program before after school is coming. It's actually a book that I've written that has various after school pieces in it. It has a business policy in it, how to develop the policy. It has different pieces on expectations of staff surrounding that policy and other things surrounding after school program development, staffing, information, a whole lot of stuff is in there for you. You can go to my website and pick that up at www.youngboyunique.com. Classroom Management Tips. This is another book from a group called Lee Cather and Marilyn Cather. They've done another book in the past called A Certain Distance to Parents. But they're talking about classroom management tips that you can utilize that would be very helpful in an after-school setting. And this last resource is 1,000 Ideas for Child Care Professionals. Great piece. I was able to look at that on yesterday. They have a lot of tips, a lot of information that you can utilize that would be very helpful regarding providing discipline, providing incentives, things of that type. I don't want you to go away with just the discipline, but you also have to have rewards and consequences. See, that's another part of the program. That even from the policy standpoint, you can do actually rewards for kids who are not engaged in negative behavior. But you want to, again, provide an environment where kids continue to build self-esteem at a higher level.
Okay. Well, thank you, Don. We appreciate having you today, and again, apologize for the audio problems in the beginning. I just wanted to share the upcoming training webinars that we'll have in March. We'll have the Healthy After School Programs training webinar. In May, we will have the Beyond the Bell Toolkit Quality training webinar. October 10th, we'll be having a webinar on social emotional learning and 21st century skills. And then on December 12th, we'll be having Community Resources for Families webinar. Of course, we'll be sending those out through our distribution list, but you can always check it out on our website as well, which is www.ndseec.com/North Dakota After School or ND After School Network. The network is now also on Facebook, so if you haven't seen us on Facebook, please check us out and like us and share us. So appreciate you all participating, and hope that you participate in the training webinar in March. Have a great day, everybody.